maybe, Your Excellency, we can start off with the first question. Why do you think, this is kind of like a pitch kind of thing, why do you think Bruneians should continue further their tertiary level studies in Australia?
Okay, so thanks again for having me and giving us the opportunity to talk about the Information Day. And one thing I suppose one point to clarify is it is tertiary education partly, but we have a number of secondary colleges that are coming to participate in the Information Day, technical colleges as well. So we're looking at a range of levels. But why consider studying in Australia? I mean, Australia has a track record. We don't know exactly how many Bruneians have studied in Australia over the year, but Bruneians continue to travel to Australia to study, and I think there's a range of reasons for that. I think, obviously we're a little bit biased because we're from Australia and we promote Australia's interests, but we're very proud of our education system. We have some excellent education institutions, universities, vocational and technical training providers that are very highly ranked. They have particular strengths that I think match up really well with what Brunei needs. We see big groups of students going to Australia, particularly to the University of New South Wales, to study engineering, petroleum engineering. So obviously that's what Brunei's economy revolves around. But as Brunei tries to diversify its economy as well, there's other areas where Australian institutions have a lot to offer. So there's the quality of education, there's the focus of our education institutions that's particularly relevant to Brunei. It's also close to Brunei, so I think the ease of getting from Brunei to Australia makes it an attractive option, particularly for parents that don't want their kids too far away. They want to be able to get their kids back for Hari Raya and other celebrations, family celebrations here in Brunei. So that's one thing. The quality of life in Australia is very high. We're a very multicultural society, so I think for anybody that's concerned about access to halal food or access to a mosque, Australia is very multicultural. We have a large Muslim community, so I think any Bruneian that's travelled to Australia would see that it's very apparent. People from other parts of the world that visit Australia are actually quite struck by just how diverse the community is. So I think that makes it a more welcoming place. And there's a variety of experiences as well. I mean, Brunei is very small, and that's the other thing, I suppose. One contrast with Brunei is just the size of Australia. So if you don't like cold weather, there are parts of Australia, areas in the north where you can, Queensland, where the climate is not dissimilar to Brunei. So there's something for everybody.
Jadi kepada mereka yang ingin menghantar anak-anak belajar ke Australia, menurut tuan yang terutama Australia dengan Brunei tidaklah begitu jauh. Kemudian dari sudut infrastruktur untuk majoriti kaum pelajar-pelajar Muslim di sana boleh hidup dengan selesa dan juga tadi ada yang untuk Australia Day ini juga bukan saja pada peringkat universiti, tapi pada peringkat menengah, college dan juga peringkat vocational akan bersama berada di Brunei Darussalam. Jadi untuk acaranya lebih lanjut, mungkin kita boleh bertanya dengan Puan Josie.
Jadi mungkin juga kita ingin mengetahui bila acara ini akan diadakan dan juga di mana dan berapa hari. Apakah juga antara aktiviti-aktiviti yang akan dibuatkan?
Terima kasih. Acara ini akan diadakan pada 10 hari bulan Disember, hari Khamis akan datang di Radisson Hotel pada jam 12.30 sampai pukul 5 petang lah. Serentak dengan wawancara yang diorang macam students atau parents yang dapat bertemu juga dengan wakil dari institusi Australia. Ada juga seminar yang akan dilanjutkan tentang students dan parents, penuntut dengan ibu bapa ataupun professional professionals di Brunei dapat kalau ingin tahu informasi atau apa saja tentang studying atau living in Australia atau training di Australia, in service training, datanglah, kunjungilah acara kami.
Jadi untuk mengetahui belajar, latihan dan juga tinggal di Australia, ini merupakan satu kesempatan juga ya. Bukan sahaja kepada para pelajar kita, juga kepada ibu bapa yang ingin anak-anak mereka melanjutkan pelajaran ke luar negara. Jadi antaranya Australia tempat yang begitu menarik dan juga banyak universiti dan juga institusi yang ada di sana. Jadi datanglah untuk sama-sama mengetahui pada 10 Disember ini nanti bermula 12 tengah hari hingga 5 petang, tempat di Radisson Hotel.
Your Excellency, if I may ask, probably if you can give any recommendations to either especially students or parents when it comes to picking a certain university or institution to study in Australia. Maybe you can give some pointers probably or advice in terms of picking a university or probably a course.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really, in terms of what a student might decide to study, it depends on there's a whole range of factors. So I think, obviously, and I suppose I'm speaking more as a parent than as a High Commissioner. I've gone through this with my daughters. I mean, they've found their own path. They've sort of decided what is it that they're attracted to. Are they more on the sciences side or the humanities? So I think, obviously, the first thing you need to do is sort of sit down and think through your experience as a student in high school. What is it that you're more attracted to? And then start to think about the sorts of courses. We have so many, we have 42 universities in Australia and technical colleges throughout all of the states and territories. So there's a breadth of offerings. It really depends on what you want. I mean, the one thing I won't do is identify a particular university. So, I mean, I think the rankings are important, but at a higher level, it gives you some idea of the reputation of the Australian education system. But I personally wouldn't get too caught up in which university is the most highly ranked, because sometimes in a particular field, say petroleum engineering or environmental science, it may not be the most highly ranked university that has the best program in that particular field. So I think doing your homework is very important. And these days, I mean, I remember when I was leaving school and looking at university, you had to go to the library and find a book that would have the information. It's all on the internet now, and I think that applies regardless of where you're planning to study, not just Australia, but there's a lot of information now available on the internet, and there's some really good resources available. The beauty of the Information Day is that you actually have people there representing the institutions that can speak in detail and with authority about what those universities and colleges have to offer. So it's not a once-in-a-year opportunity. We've had a series of events. We've had individual universities coming out. We've had some of the education agents that operate here that represent Australian universities run their own information days. So I'd encourage people to make the most of the opportunity that we're presenting on Thursday. Get out there. There's a 5-hour window where they can sit down with each of the institutions and ask any questions that they might have, tailored to their own needs.
Jadi Tuan Yang Terutama tadi menyarankan bahawa para pelajar dan para ibu bapa membuat research ataupun homework yang berkaitan dengan jurusan yang akan dipilih oleh para pelajar, dan sepenuhnya menggunakan kesempatan di Information Day. Ada 5 jam di mana bolehlah bertanyakan kepada mereka yang terlibat dengan institusi tertentu dan bertanya jawab untuk dapat mengambil keputusan yang tepat, jurusan yang tepat di universiti yang diinginkan.
Ya, itu sebentar tadi telah pun diterangkan ya, dan juga ingin kita bertanyakan berapa banyak institusi yang akan melibatkan diri dalam Information Day ini.
Sebenarnya dalam 27 lah institusi akan diwakili oleh wakilnya yang datang dari regional, dari Malaysia, dari Australia pun ada, dan juga wakil agent institusi Australia ni yang pada masa ni yang ada di Brunei. Tiga agents lah ya.
Jadi lebih kurang dalam 27
institusi ya.
Jadi memang banyak juga ya.
Mungkin boleh dijelaskan sekali lagi tarikh, waktu dan juga tempat diadakan Information Day ini?
Tarikhnya 10 hari bulan ya, Disember, jam 12 sampai jam 5 petang ya. pada Khamis akan datang ni di Radisson Hotel.
Radisson Hotel. Itu dia pada 10 Disember 2015 dari jam 12 tengah hari hingga 5 petang bertempat di Radisson Hotel.
So far, how has the alumni or former students of Australian universities been able to help out in ensuring prospective students to feel comfortable and being able to pursue their studies in Australia?
Yeah, well, I think, as I said earlier, it's my job to talk about Australia and promote it, but we find it particularly useful so we engage quite a lot with the Australian alumni here, so Brunei's that have studied in Australia, and also with there's another group called Bruons, so Brunei's that are currently studying in Australia and New Zealand, a very close-knit group, and they have this structure, and they get together, they have sports carnivals. So whenever we can engage with them, we like to get them to speak about their own experience. So rather than listen to me, yeah, he would say that, wouldn't he? But to get them to talk about their own experience, and you know, we're honest, but we haven't actually. I've never lived in Australia as a foreign student, so my experience was quite different. I lived at home with mum and dad. We're talking about them going to Australia, a new environment, having to set up their own life. Find a place to live, do the grocery shopping. So I think it's really valuable. We find it really valuable. We're very grateful to the Australian alumni here for the support that they give us. And because I speak no Malay, so I don't know exactly what Josie said, but she may have mentioned that in addition to the 5 hours where you can go around and speak with the individual universities, there's a seminar series, and one of the presentations will be from a representative of the Brunei Australia Alumni Association, where they'll talk about that exactly, their experience studying in Australia.
Jadi kepada Auda yang akan sama-sama hadir, akan ada satu seminar seperti mana yang Puan Josie dan Tuan yang pertama katakan. Salah satunya adalah wakil daripada alumni ataupun bekas mantan pelajar pelajar-pelajar Brunei di Australia, dan juga cukup rapat dengan dengan Suruhanjaya Australia adalah persatuan penuntut yang pada ketika ini sedang belajar di Australia juga. Dalam dalam kesempatan yang sedikit ini mungkin Puan Josie ada saranan.
Terima kasih. Yang penting kunjungilah acara kami yang akan datang ni pada hari Khamis 10 hari bulan Disember, jam 12 sampai jam 5 petang, untuk mendapat lebih lanjut informasi tentang Australia, sama ada tinggal kat sana di Australia ataupun study program-program yang akan yang student tu dapat mengambil informasi tentang program-program yang diorang minat, and also bagi pegawai-pegawai yang akan in-service training pun, kalau nak informasi untuk study in Australia pun silalah datang ke acara kami ni.
Jadi apa yang perlu dibawa sebetulnya bila datang ke
persiapan? Sama ada kalau ada sertifikat yang sebelumnya macam forecast results ke, or kalau pegawai yang sedang bekerja nak melanjutkan lagi professional development, experience lah, CV kah, boleh tanyalah, there's no fixed rule about it.
And finally, Your Excellency, maybe a additional final few words as we conclude our talk this morning.
Yeah, well, again, I just encourage people to come along, make the most of that opportunity that's there. But in order to get the most out of it, I think this is what Josie was talking about, or you're asking a question about what you should bring along to the session. But the more research you can do before the day, I think the more productive the discussion will be, because you may find that if there's a particular area of study that you're interested in, only 4 or 5 of the universities represented there offer the course. So rather than go and take a sort of a hit and miss approach, do your preparation, bring as much information along as you can. There is time. There's still plenty of time to to apply and be accepted to commence studies in Australia in February. I look forward to seeing a very crowded Radisson on Thursday afternoon.
Ya, jadi dalam kesimpulan kita pada pagi ini daripada Tuan Yang Terutama Pesuruhjaya Australia ke Brunei Darussalam menyarankan sebelum hadir ke acara tersebut pada hari Khamis ini untuk membuat research tentang jurusan dan universiti dan apabila datang ke sana dapat mengoptimumkan penggunaan masa daripada datang terajun cematu-cematu saja. Okey, jadi buatlah persiapan-persiapan tertentu agar dapat menggunakan masa dengan sebaiknya. Alright, so on behalf of Rampai Pagi, to Your Excellency and to Puan Josie, thank you so much for being able to attend this morning session, and we do hope that our students may be able to find a place in Australia for their upcoming education. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful holiday for this December.
Yeah, thank you too. Thanks, Sarah.